this little kid right here has low-key been pissing me off. You know, he thinks just like the rest of you little doofuses. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this newer generation, they think they know. This generation is the generation that doesn't know ball at all. Like the ball knowledgers, you know what I'm saying? The ball knowers and all that, bro. They stop with my generation. Now, these little generation, like this 15-year-old, you know what I'm saying? He's low-key starting to piss me off. Especially when he started. I told you, I knew when you had that jersey on. I knew when you had that Lamar Harden jersey on, you wanted to. I knew it. But anyways, man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Jay Willie Silly, man, a.k.a. Mr. Take It Easy for you end up like Beezy. But make sure you follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you need to know about your boy, Jay, it's in the description down below. He's not cooking at all. I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I'll say the only good one that he had, bro, was the first one, you know what I'm saying? He's still like, I don't know, this is just a regular kid. He thinks he knows ball, but you know, he really doesn't, you know what I'm saying? He just tries to sound smart, but he really doesn't sound smart. You know what I'm saying? But for all my new subscribers and new viewers, if y'all do want to go check out all of my debates, it is in the NBA reaction playlist section, and it is in the NFL playlist section. You know what I'm saying? NFL reaction playlist section. Like I said, y'all, Madden 27 Discord. I am finna kick the Saints user. So Saints user, if you're watching this, you're finna get kicked. So the Saints is the only team that's available, bro. I will be kicking him out of the Discord and out of the league. So if y'all do want to get the Saints, man, make sure y'all hurry up. Only one team available. Can we just move on from this debate? Let's move on from this one.
My next claim is Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the NBA.
That's why see this, and this is his opinion, all right? I'm not going to be hypocritical, you know what I mean? Because I'll be the main ones talk about, you know, your opinion's your opinion. Okay, cool. But I'm not going to lie, in my opinion, now I take your opinion, all right? I don't have no problem with your opinion. You said Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the NBA right now. I promise you, plenty of people think just like you. So I'm not a hypocrite. I'm not a man that's going to be like, you know what I'm saying? It's your opinion, bro. But in my opinion, this right here is the most overhyped player in the NBA. In my opinion. Lord knows the media is trying to force this man on us so bad, it makes no sense. They're trying to make him the face. Even NBA do a freak. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, y'all, like, what freak was that? You know what I'm saying? But even, you know what I'm saying? The freaking NBA, the media tries to force this man on us. 2K tries to force this man. How is this man the cover? But yet he got exposed in the finals by Mitchell Robinson. He got outplayed by Karl-Anthony Towns. Literally, I think 2 games they lost. It was because of De'Aaron Fox, Stephen Castle, and Victor Wembanyama. He played terrible in the finals. Last game to be exact. But he on the 2K cover, and Nikola Jokic has yet been on the 2K cover yet. This man got on the 2K cover before, a 3-time MVP. And he's not better than him, in my opinion. 3-time MVP, NBA champion. He got on the cover before the Jalen Brunson, who dropped 45 points, who brought the New York Knicks a championship in 53 seasons. This man got a cover. Bro, one thing that the media is trying to do, and I'm not falling for it, they're trying to make him the face of the NBA. In reality, bro, not reality. In my opinion, you're not even a top 7 NBA player. I told you I'm going to name my top ones. Nikola Jokic, SGA, Jaylen Brown. We can go with, I'm going to say Luka Doncic. I like Luka Doncic. Number 5. I'm going to go with Jalen Brunson. Number 6, man. I ain't gonna lie, I just had a big old brain fart. Number 6, I'm not gonna lie, man. Number 6, I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard. As of right now, I don't care what nobody say, Kawhi Leonard is a top 10 player right now. Had a better season than Victor Wembanyama last year. I have no idea how Victor Wembanyama was number 2 in the MVP race. You didn't have a better season than Nikola Jokic. You didn't have a better season than SGA. You didn't have a better season than Luka Doncic. Motherfucker, you didn't have a better season than freaking Jaylen Brown. but yet you number 2 in the MVP race. Make it make sense. They're trying so hard to make this man the meat. They're trying so hard to make, and after that, I'll go with Kawhi Leonard. Then after that, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. I'm going with Karl Anthony Towns. In my opinion, Karl Anthony Towns is better than Victor Wembanyama. What can Victor Wembanyama do that Karl Anthony Towns can't do? He can't shoot better than Karl. You say he got defense. Vic really don't have defense. He's just a tall shot blocker. That's why he won Defensive Player of the Years. He don't got defense. Karl Anthony Towns was cooking this man. Mitchell Robinson has defense. What can Victor do that Karl Anthony Towns can't do?
Right now.
Yeah, I heard you're a Wizards fan, but we're going to talk about Wemby.
I am. Sadly, yes.
So, don't get me wrong. I do think that Wemby is one of the best players in the NBA. Obviously,
I'll say that. He number 8. He number 8.
They're both dominant, but at the same time, when you have people like Nikola Jokic that affect every aspect of basketball, not just, scoring the ball or getting the rebounds, but he also makes his teammates better. It's hard to say that Wemby is the best player in the NBA.
So you mentioned making teammates better. I want to actually share an interesting stat for you in case you do not know. This year, when Victor Wembanyama was on the floor with the Spurs, they had the best net rating in the NBA of any team with any player on the court. So in terms of making everybody around you better, when Victor Wembanyama is on the court, the Spurs go from probably around a playoff team, probably a 6-7.
The Spurs were above 500 team. You know what I'm saying? See, you look like a cartoon character. I'm just going to say you look like a cartoon character. You know what I'm saying? You look like a very familiar cartoon character, bro. Who do you look like? You know what I mean? Like, you really like a cartoon character. But the Spurs were literally an above 500 team without Victor Wembanyama even playing. You know what I mean? So let's not act like, you know what I mean? Like Spurs were literally an above 500 thing. I think it was like, what, 10 and... I forgot. I don't know the record, but I know there was above 500 team when Victor Wembanyama was injured or whatnot. They were still winning games, bro.
8th seed, and he takes them to a legitimate NBA contender, and that is one of the definitions of value. I actually view in this individual season with the adversity he went through, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as the MVP, but in terms of being the most versatile and dynamic player in the NBA, that is Victor Wembanyama. You mentioned impacting the game on all cylinders. Nikola Jokic can't even compare to what Victor Wembanyama could do on the defensive side of the ball. It's not even close, the value he adds when he's on and off the court to the San Antonio Spurs, and the difference he can make on a court, not only with the counting stats and with the blocks and with the steals, but also can guard any position and
can guard any position, bro. Victor Wembanyama cannot guard any position. I've seen so many times where Victor Wembanyama get blue pass. See, a lot of y'all, bro, mistake, you know what I'm saying, defense for shot blocking. He's a good shot blocker because he's tall, but so a lot of you little kids like him be so hypnotized by the blocks. Kawhi Leonard, that's a good defender. Jaylen Brown, that's a good defender. I've seen numerous of times where Victor Wembanyama get blue pass like it's nothing and get saved by his long freaking wingspan. 7'5", 7'6" alien. So do not mistake a good shot blocker for a good defender. That's two different things. Because Victor Wembanyama is not a good defender. He's a good shot blocker. I mean, for Christ's sake, don't bust my balls. He's 7'5". Who wouldn't be a good shot blocker?
His presence alone clogging up the paint forces offenses to change their system. Nikola Jokic is brilliant offensively. He's a better offensive player than Wemby. But the difference between Wembanyama, who doesn't have a weakness offensively, in my opinion, to Nikola Jokic.
Victor doesn't have a weakness on offense. The mother effer can't even go in the paint. That's his weakness. Bro has no paint presence at all on offense. Tell me he has no freaking weakness on offense. What? Mitchell Robinson exposed his weakness. The boy right there, the boy can't freaking paint. He can't do a post move to save his life. Your boy can't get big in the paint to save his dang life. He a three-point shooter. Boy play like a tall guard. And I told you, if you don't get that post game right, I told you he ain't gonna never win a championship. You mean he ain't got no weaknesses on freaking offense? That's the freak he do.
Wembanyama, who doesn't have a weakness offensively, in my opinion, to Nikola Jokic, to compare to the defensive difference, the defensive difference is far wider. Victor Wembanyama is a more versatile.
Let him talk, little kid.
So he's not. When you bring up this net rating, right?
Yep.
At the end of the day, first of all, if we're gonna talk about making your teammates better,
yep.
Nikola Jokic averages how many assists?
10.
Okay, how many points are you responsible for after those 10 assists?
Well,
at least 20. At least 20. Right, sure. At least 20 points, right? How many points does Nikola Jokic average?
26, 27.
Okay, 26 or 27. In addition to the other, at least 20 through the assists. You mean to tell me he's responsible for almost at least 40 something points, maybe 50, and you want to tell me something about a net rating, realistically, when
Yes, we're gonna tell you about
let me
net
ask you
Bro, all that net rating junk, that junk don't matter, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like, you one of those people that just look at net ratings and all that, bro. Nobody cares about all that net rating junk. That junk really just some BS, bro. Nobody cares about that. Realistically, bro, Nikola Jokic makes his teammates better than Victor Wembanyama, bro. That's just realistically, bro. You know what I'm saying? Victor don't make his teammates better than Nikola Jokic, bro. Please stop it, bro. You know what I'm saying? They already hooping. You feel me? Like I said, I'm telling you, I promise you on my life, bro, the Spurs would have made the playoffs without Victor Wembanyama. They probably wouldn't have made the finals, but they would have made the playoffs without Victor Wembanyama. Even look at it, bro. Even when it comes to the playoffs, they ain't make it to the finals because of Victor Wembanyama. But all these Victor meat riders love trying to say Victor Wembanyama fans and LeBron James fans, they like the same caliber. All them Victor Wembanyama fans love trying to say his name like he the main reason. Bro, the only reason you even made it past the Thunder was because of Champagnie and Johnson. Victor Wembanyama ain't do nothing in Game 7. Bro, the only good game, bro, I say that Victor Wembanyama had, bro, honestly, bro, despite playing the freaking Trail, but I'm talking about the Thunder game, bro, it was freaking Game 1. First thing y'all gonna do is look at stats. Look how he shot from the field goal. He shot terrible. Look what he shot from the field goal and shot from the 3-point. But you gonna say he averaged such and such. Look how he shot from the field goal. Look how he shot from the 3-point line. That shows you how a person plays. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at how many points he averaged. I'm telling you, bro. And then he averaged some free throws too as well. You feel me? So stop looking at the points, how many averages the points, and go look at what he shot from the field goal and look what he shot from the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is they did not make it to the finals because of Victor Wembanyama. I tell you that first and foremost. And if you did watch the series, you know I ain't lying. Champagnie, he was the key player for that Spurs, bro. Without Champagnie, Victor Wembanyama would have been sent home. It would have been OKC versus the New York Knicks, bro. And for people that watched the freaking series, you know I ain't lying. It would have been the freaking New York Knicks versus the OKC Thunder if it wasn't for Champagnie, if it wasn't for Johnson coming in at Game 7. I'm telling you right now. Because Victor Wembanyama ain't do a dang thing in Game 7.
What is the record? Because you know stats. What's the record between the Spurs and the Nuggets?
I think it's
okay. Well, the
last
last time
53 to 61 wins. I think is the difference.
When they play against each other. When they play against each other. Do you remember what happened the last time the Spurs played?
Bro,
the Nuggets?
Nikola Jokic freaking dominated Victor Witt. That's what I was trying to tell y'all. The man ain't got no defense. Man, Nikola Jokic worked that boy.
Play against each other. When they play against each other.
Man, Nikola Jokic worked that
Remember
boy.
what happened the last time the Spurs played the Nuggets?
Yeah, Victor Wembanyama wasn't on the floor.
Well, actually,
He actually was on the floor. He was on the floor.
Hold on. When the last time the Jokic,
Little kid, he was on the floor, little kid.
the last time
played the
Jokic,
final game of the regular season.
hold on,
That's
the
not
last. I'm sorry. Let me fix my
He
statement.
he definitely was on the
last
floor.
time the Spurs went against the Nuggets, Wemby struggled. They had nothing to stop Jokic. Literally. There was nothing that could have stopped Jokic.
Did Wemby have over 30 points? Is that considered a struggle now?
At the end of the day, what did that net rating do? It helped them lose.
The Nuggets also have a great- the Nuggets also have a great team.
It helped them lose. So if we're gonna talk about a better player, yes, Wemby has the defense, and you acknowledge that Nikola Jokic is the better offensive player, correct?
I do.
But the offense is so dominant that it's hard to say that Wemby is better than him.
Do you think the difference between Victor Wembanyama and everyone else defensively is bigger than the gap between Nikola Jokic and everyone else
Jokic
offensively?
averages a triple-double as a center.
Okay.
That gap is huge.
It's
that
incredible.
offensive gap is huge. It's huge.
Huge,
I
bro.
expect the center to get a block. I don't expect the center to get 10 assists.
Okay, well, do you expect the center to be the most dominant defensive player we've ever seen play the game?
He's not the most dominant defensive players that we've seen play this game. Stop lying. Like, that's your opinion, bro. But, bro, no, he's not. That's why I said with you little kids, bro. This mother effer's not the most dominant. Bro, I've seen him get bodied by OG Anunoby, bro. Like, bro, stop it with all this talking. He's the most dominant defensive center I've ever seen in my life. No, the freak he ain't, bro. Man, put Victor back in our era, bro. Dwight Howard would have slammed on him. Bro, Victor is soft in the paint, bro. He only relies on his dang height. You know what I'm saying? He's a good shot blocker, bro, because of his height. Victor Wembanyama is small in that paint. And Victor Wembanyama's not a good defender, bro. It's just facts, bro. These folks be hypnotized about them blocks, man. Bro, I've seen this man get babied by OG Anunoby and slammed on his dang head. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen him get babied, bro. You feel me? By a dude that was smart. Man, I'm telling you, bro, like, I'm sorry. And like I said before, and I'm going to say it again, this right here is the most overrated player in the NBA right here. I'm not going to say Victor Wembanyama is a bad player. That right there will be hating, bro. But to say he's the best defensive NBA center that we've ever seen. Man, get the freak out of my dang face.
A center. How many? It's a center.
Hakeem
He's
Olajuwon.
He's supposed to get a block.
That's right. So
That's what I just
A
said.
center's not supposed to get 10 assists.
So you expect the center to be one of the most dominant defensive players of all time, but
All time.
You're shifting the goalpost for a guy who's been above average at best on defense throughout his career?
We're just talking about defense, but Jokic averages 10 assists and drops almost 27 points a game. He's responsible for almost 50 points.
I understand, but
that's almost half of what teams drop.
But Wembanyama is also responsible in keeping teams under that threshold, which is of course then going to help
and still
his
has
teammates
not won anything.
It's his third year in the league.
It's his third. Okay, cool. So how are you going to tell me that he's the best player in the league?
Because I've already seen enough from a talent and from a vertical.
What have you seen?
What have you seen?
NBA Cup against my team.
Okay, so
against my team,
then he lost in the finals.
Playoffs for even that to happen. So far, Nikola Jokic has done a lot more offensively and for his team than Victor Wembanyama. The only thing that Victor has is the defense. So what has he done?
So the only thing is half the side of the ball. I do want to make this one concluding point here real quick because I do want to get my points off because I've been interrupted.
Go ahead.
So what I do want to make clear is if you're going to use resumes, no. If you're going to come in here and say because we've seen Jokic do it in the playoffs and he has the resume, I need to see Wemby prove it first. That's a different discussion. What you're coming in here and telling me though is you keep saying stats, offense.
You brought up net rating.
I know, and that's fine. But you're mentioning the assists and the points generated, which is fine. But I would argue what Wembanyama does on the defensive side of the ball is just as impactful as what Jokic does on the offensive end. But instead, I would argue that Victor Wembanyama averages 25 points a game on 38% three-point shooting in 29 minutes a game because he's been on minutes restrictions. That alone is also elite offensive play. Nikola Jokic is not an elite defender. And I will say this, you bring up one game. So Victor Wembanyama, let me get this straight, lost one game where he dropped over 30 points.
It wasn't one game.
Yes, Victor Wembanyama only played for one of those games. If you want to go back and fact
throughout his career, he has not only played one game against Nikola Jokic.
You brought up that one game. I'm talking
you said
about
he's
what
the best player in the league. Look,
right now, based off this season. And so what I saw is you right now are bringing up one game where he dropped over 30 points and lost in overtime, and that's the only separator for you between those two.
No, it's not. I brought up the triple doubles and making his teammates better. But look, it was a great argument.
Wemby does it too. Great argument.
All right, let me tell you something. So,
Wemby doesn't, bro.
Somebody's already come down.
I hear what you're saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm not mistaken, hold on, let me go and see something right quick. If I'm not mistaken, brother. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and see something right quick, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I gotta just go and just see something. If I'm not mistaken, brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm not tripping. Hold on. Man. Hold on. I know I'm not tripping because you just said something. I think that's completely. Hold on. I'm sorry, bro. Cause I'm like he could be right, he could be wrong, but I definitely think he's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Definitely think he's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and see something. Like freaking y'all hold on right quick. You know what I'm saying? Hold on right quick, chat. Hold on right quick. You know what I'm saying? Let me go and see this right quick. Y'all be patient with me. Let me go and see this right quick. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go see this right quick. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, I had to see that, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, he averaged 24 points, you know what I mean, 0.3. So he averaged 24 points. He didn't average 25, you know what I mean? I knew that 25, it don't round up, you know what I'm saying, to 25. No, it doesn't. He averaged 24 points. Like I said, 11 rebounds and whatnot, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the case. But like I said, he still, you know what I'm saying, we all know that Victor is going to give you only 25, and I say that for sure. I said Victor is a 25-plus player. That's it. He's a 25-plus player. You know what I mean? He gonna give you 25. He's not gonna drop 40 for you. You know what I mean? He's rarely gonna do that. He probably do it here and there, rarely. He's not gonna give you 50. He's not gonna give you 40. He's rarely doing that. Even 30s. He's rarely doing that. When do we really see Victor Wembanyama dropping like 30 points? It's rare. He's at the 24, 25 mark. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, comparing Nikola Jokic, bro, to Victor Wembanyama to me is absurd. You know what I'm saying? It's absurd, bro. Nikola Jokic is 10 times, 30 times better than Victor Wembanyama. That's not even a comparison. And like I said, I said it before and I'm gonna say it again. I put Karl-Anthony Towns and Victor Wembanyama in the same caliber. I don't care what you're talking about, bro. Karl-Anthony Towns, bro, and you can say what you want to say, bro. Karl-Anthony Towns, in my opinion, is better than Victor Wembanyama. If you know ball, you know like that junk ain't crazy to say that Karl-Anthony Towns is better than Victor Wembanyama, bro.
I mean, of the fact that Wembanyama is, or we haven't seen him do it for long enough yet. And I agree with you. I find that I'm agreeing with you slightly on some things, but there is a difference in when you criteria-wise ranking current players as of right now versus all time. There is a difference.
He said,
however, resume still does factor in to ranking currently. I would still take Nikola Jokic over Victor Wembanyama right now, no matter how microscopically close it is. I would still take Jokic over Wembanyama because resume does still matter even when ranking currently.
And again, I'm not going to be able to make that argument because we haven't been able to see Wembanyama in the playoffs yet.
And it sounds like
No.
I mean, it sounds like
You have a different criteria than me, it looks like. I'm valuing the best players in the NBA right now. I'm not saying the best players in the NBA in 2025 or 20.
I mean, right now, like right the freak now. You know what I'm saying? Like right the freak now. I don't feel like he's the best player in the NBA right the freak now. I'm not talking about 2025. I'm talking about the right the freak now. Nikola Jokic averaged a triple-double right the freak now. Right the freak now. Jaylen Brown averaged dang near 30 points right the freak now. Right the freak now. Kawhi Leonard averaged almost 30 points right the freak now. We talking about right the freak now. Right the freak now. Luka Doncic averaged like 33 points per game right the freak now. We're talking about right the freak now.
24 and 2023. I'm saying right now. So right now, what I have seen this season,
This season.
that Victor Wembanyama is the best player in the world, the best defensive player in the league. It's not close, and offensively can keep up with the best.
God.
defensively, I agree with you. There's nobody that I think.
But can I pause you for a second?
I don't think he's the best defensive player. I just don't. Kawhi Leonard, Jaylen Brown, that's just better defenders than him. Like he's a good shot blocker, man.
You know, just think about this. I feel like we're putting this off. We're in a state of the league where we just think offense.
We're not thinking that.
The gap between Shea, Jokic, and Wemby in terms of offensive skill set or offensive capabilities and what they've done and how they produced offensively, all agree Wemby is third, but the difference.
Wemby is third, so Wemby over Luka Doncic, Wemby over Jaylen Brown offensively? What? Wemby over Kawhi Leonard offense?
Shea, Jokic, and Wemby in terms of offensive skill set or offensive capabilities and what they've done and how they produced offensively, all agree Wemby is third.
What? Oh, it's his opinion, bro. He's a better offensive threat than Luka Doncic. Oh my God!
The difference between Wemby to Nikola Jokic offensively is so much more minuscule than the difference between Jokic and Wemby defensively. He is so much better on defense, and there are two sides to the ball. And I will say this too, from a value standpoint, when Wemby has been on the floor with San Antonio, third fewest points allowed per game, third best defensive rating. When he's off the floor in games he hasn't played, it's 21st in opponent points per game and 22nd in defensive rating. He turns a below average defense into an elite defense because he's probably the most talented defensive player we've ever seen play the game, and that is 50% of the equation.
That is 50% of the equation. I'll give you that, and I do think that not even a think. It's you watch the game of basketball and you know that Wemby's a better defender than the guys that I'm mentioning, and you are right about that. What I will say though is you are acting as if Wemby is a defensive player unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Exactly.
When you're talking about the.
Yes, I am kind of saying that actually.
Yeah, and I think you're going at a little bit of a stretch there because while yes he's 7'6", and I think what you potentially might be getting caught up in with that, which I even find myself getting caught up in a lot, is these like elongated images of Wemby sticking his alien.
His shot blocking, and you're gonna go back to what I'm saying. Shot blocking. I said it again. I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again. It's a difference between a good defender and a shot blocker. Of course, he's gonna have a lot of blocks, because he is taller than everybody on the court. So that right there is going to make it harder for you to shoot over him regardless. I just want to break y'all casual mindset. Get Victor out of that post, bro, and you going to see if he a good defender or not. I've seen too many times. I've seen Victor Wembanyama get blue past too many times to say he's one of the best defenders I've ever seen. I'm sorry. Prime Dwight Howard is a better defender than Victor Wembanyama to me. I'm just keeping it real, bro. I just don't see what y'all see in Victor Wembanyama. I just don't, bro. I'll give props when this dude. Y'all know that, bro. But I just don't see what y'all see in Victor Wembanyama. I just don't.
Arm out and doing all this crazy stuff. When you earlier were talking about Draymond Green as one of the best defensive players ever.
Draymond, Dennis Rodman, those are good defenders, bro. Draymond Green, Dennis Rodman, bro. Those are good defenders. Those I will put over Victor Wembanyama. Those type of Kawhi Leonard's, bro. I will put them over. Those are good defenders, bro. Those are good defenders. It's a difference, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's a huge difference, bro.
There's different levels in terms of what makes a great defender. Just because Wemby.
I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Only real people that know ball, bro, know the difference, bro. Just because you shot blocking and shot blocking everything, you got to take this man height into perspective. This man the tallest man on the court. Imagine if you was 7'6". Bro barely got to jump to dunk. Is it really that hard to block when he's 7'6"? Prime Dwight Howard, 6'11", throwing junk out the gym. When you the tallest person on the court, you supposed to be dang near the best defender. You know what I mean? But Draymond Greens, the Dennis Rodmans, those Hakeem Olajuwons, bro. Come on, bro. Those the good defenders, bro.
Defensive players ever. There's different levels in terms of what makes a great defender. Just because Wemby can stick his gadget arm and go gadget and and all do all this crazy stuff because of the genetics he's been blessed with does not automatically make him this all-time great defender 3 years into his NBA career. Again, I think that when you talk about, I'll riff off somebody else's point, Nikola Jokic and the points generated, when you're talking about how close Jokic and Wemby are offensively, I don't think they're as close as you make it.
Exactly.
Wemby as a bucket getter can do a lot of things that Jokic can do, but I would argue there's never, not in the entire history of this NBA league been a player like Nikola Jokic on the offensive end the same way you're trying to say about Wemby on the defensive end.
I will, again, I am agreeing with you that Nikola Jokic is a better offensive player. I do want to bring up a few things, though. Number one, the Spurs, the type of team that they run with Mitch Johnson and the type of scheme is it's a by-committee offensive approach. And so we don't get to see Wemby have the usage rate that Nikola Jokic has. It's Nikola Jokic,
so we're playing
Jamal
ifs,
Murray.
then.
Well, how does that hurt my own argument? So in terms of minutes played, so I'll say this. Wembanyama's been on minutes restrictions and has not been able to have the offensive load. And yet, when he has had the offensive load, he has produced. And I guarantee you, if you saw him playing the same amount of time as Jokic and being able to have the same amount of load as Jokic, because of his, you're right, alien-type genetics, and then what we've also seen from him in the production on the court, that does mean something. And I think we would see him produce statistically at that level, not in terms of passing, but you wouldn't even know it yourself. And I'm sure if you advocate for a Steph over Magic for the greatest point guard ever, the argument's going to be your presence alone makes everyone around you better, and nobody epitomizes that more than who? Victor Wembanyama, and he does it on both ends.
If I get to see it. Haven't seen it yet.
If I had to start a franchise today, I would take Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson over Joe Burrow.
I don't like this little kid. It's his opinion, bro. It's his opinion, you know what I'm saying? But this little kid is starting to make me real bad. He's starting to get under my skin. He reminds me of somebody named Cupcake. You know what I'm saying? It's this dude named Dre. You know what I mean? Y'all probably know about him. I do not like that little kid. You know what I'm saying? That little kid gets under my skin. And nobody gets under my skin like that Cupcake. You know what I'm saying? That's who you remind me of. Right when I seen you with that freaking jersey on, I automatically thought of that little Cupcake. You know what I'm saying? You remind me of that little freaking stupid Cupcake.
Today, I would take Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson.
So you would take Lamar Harden over Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow's done something that Lamar Harden hasn't done. Joe Burrow's done something that Josh Allen hasn't done. Mahomes, for sure. But them two never been to a bowl, and them two can't even beat Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying? But you putting them over. Joe Burrow has been injured. Like, bro, I'm telling you, if Joe Burrow had a defense, word to the wise, if Joe Burrow had a defense, bro, man, Joe Burrow would have been out of the ring. We all know that's been watching Joe Burrow. We all know the only reason Joe Burrow ain't got no dang ring because of that dang defense. Let Joe Burrow been on Lamar Harden team. I bet you Joe Burrow would have had a ring. Let Joe Burrow be on the dang Bills. I bet you he would have had a ring. All Joe needs is a freaking defense. Joe Burrow on them Chiefs, Joe Burrow would have had a ring. Stop playing on my boy Joe, man.
Over Joe Burrow.
I'm not going to argue any of those names. I'm going to add to those names, and let's see how you take that. Fernando Mendoza, the number one upcoming draft. The number one player coming out of the draft this year who was looked at as the next big thing. Your Andrew Luck type prospect.
No, he's not.
That's just one field of thinking. I'm not saying you should or shouldn't feel that way.
I don't think anyone's ever said he's an Andrew Luck type prospect or a Joe Burrow type prospect.
I think a lot.
I've never heard that in my life.
Yeah,
I agree with the kid right there. I don't know what the freak you talking about. You smoking on some good dopey.
Scouts and NFL pundits are looking at Fernando Mendoza as the next guy.
Actually, most pundits are saying the Raiders should have considered trading down and not taking Mendoza.
I think actually a lot of people
pundits have actually said.
I said that too.
That in a relatively weak quarterback class, it is incredibly obvious who the number one is. But I don't think anybody's taking Mendoza down.
That doesn't mean he's a generational talent.
Cool. Let's move on because there are other guys.
You can't control how weak the quarterback class. If Dante Moore is there, that doesn't make him more or less of a generational talent.
Dante Moore was looked at as the number 2 quarterback coming in this class if he went in. And if it were Arch Manning, then he was looked at as arguably the number 1. And both of those guys are guys that I would start a franchise around over Joe Burrow, and here's why. When Joe Burrow is out, do the Bengals suck? Or does Joe Flacco throw a whole bunch of touchdowns?
Dude, you're making my argument. I'm saying he's overrated.
No. You said
argument.
you lift him at
Joe Burrow's overrated?
I'm putting him down at 7 or 8.
You putting Joe. Look, both of y'all stupid. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real. You said Joe Burrow's overrated? Lord help him. You know what I'm saying? Joe Burrow's overrated. Your quarterback has more turnovers than TDs, but you talking about Joe Burrow. Your quarterback has more, and your quarterback always had a better team than Joe Burrow. Always, bro.
8. We're not making the same argument.
So,
I'm just arguing something that you weren't prepared to argue about.
Okay, fine. So I think Joe Burrow is definitely 4th because you're valuing Fernando Mendoza, who has had one great collegiate season, did it where trust me, Fernando Mendoza, his swagger, his mentality, he's a fun guy to watch. I'm always going to be cheering for Fernando Mendoza. From a football standpoint, he does not have a Andrew Luck or Joe Burrow arm. Let me finish. He's
Go
not.
ahead, I'm not going to cut you off.
He's not that type of prospect, and I think we have seen that, and that is why when you watched him in Indiana, sure, he had a lot of touchdowns and a great passer rating, but in terms of yards, and it was really the yards per attempt and touchdowns and passer rating, and that is a byproduct of efficiency. I'm not saying he can't be an efficient quarterback, but what you're going to have to do to build around Fernando Mendoza is put him in a system that caters to his needs. Curt Cignetti in Indiana had that, and Curt Cignetti should be just as involved in what it took to win a national championship, I think more involved than Fernando Mendoza. I don't think anybody's actually here saying Fernando Mendoza is a generational quarterback talent. I don't know where you got that from. You said it's because he's in a weak quarterback class. Correct. He's more valuable because the quarterback class is weak. That doesn't change whether or not he's generational. Joe Burrow and Andrew Luck weren't viewed as by far the best quarterback in their classes. They were viewed as generational. That is the difference between those prospects. And I will say, after one collegiate season, to put Fernando Mendoza over a guy in Joe Burrow, who, yes, is not in the, I don't think the elite of the elite of the elite like I have the other three, but he's still a guy who has made a Super Bowl,
Okay.
who has led the league in passing.
I don't care what you're saying. You know, he's the elite of the elite. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I'm just going to tell you that right now. That's just, in my opinion.
Touchdowns, who has led the league in passing yards,
What
who
you
has
talking
had
about?
that type of success.
Ain't they playing with your boy Joe, man? He playing, but you a op. You know what I'm saying? So I get that, you feel me? So you a op. You feel me? So you don't like him. You in the same division, so, you know, I get that. You feel me? The Browns, the Bengals, the Ravens, you know what I'm saying? The Steelers, you don't like the mother. I get it, bro. But there goes to show your ball knowledge right there, man. Put Allen and Lamar Harden and make it seem like they're just so much superior than Joe Burrow. That's crazy. That's crazy to say.
Gone in and beaten, as someone else eloquently said, gone into Kansas City and beaten Patrick Mahomes, gone into Buffalo and beaten Josh Allen. How in the world, after a one-season sample size in a system that catered to his needs, would you put Fernando Mendoza? And who are the other guys that you would have Burrow putting now 7th or 8th on this list?
I don't need to argue about the other guys. Let's stay on Fernando Mendoza because you made a whole bunch of
7 or 8.
You just made a whole bunch of really valid points about Fernando Mendoza, so I'm going to counter those points.
Go ahead.
If we're talking about starting a franchise around a guy, around a quarterback, the inherent knowledge is that you have to build a system around that guy. You said that as if it's a detriment. That is the point of building a franchise around a quarterback. It's the same reason Zach Taylor's offense works without Joe Burrow. It's the same reason why when Joe Burrow's down, Joe Flacco walks into the building or Jake Browning shows up and they start succeeding,
when Jake
winning
Browning
games,
was here
throwing
this
a whole
year,
bunch
they
of
were
touchdowns.
Awful. When Jake Browning was here this year,
did he or did he not throw
gosh,
touchdowns?
awful.
Did he or did he not throw touchdowns? I'm not
Actually,
saying
no.
I'm not saying you win games that way. I'm not saying you
No,
win.
he didn't throw. There were multiple games where he didn't throw a touchdown this season when he came in.
Okay,
No.
but you can't argue the Joe Flacco Thursday night game against Pittsburgh, I want to say.
Yeah.
Great. So let's continue.
Joe Flacco.
Or against the Jets or against the Browns. But let's continue. When you're building a franchise around a guy, you don't just look to, this is kind of not the best argument, but you don't look just to win games. You also look to build a culture. You look to build a culture around a guy who is going to always be there.
Hey, dude, welcome to football.
If
you
you
gotta win
see,
games. You don't
welcome
see
to
that.
football, he said. You've just walked into planet Earth. Welcome to football.
You don't see
wanted
that
He talking about you just walked into planet Earth. Bro, talking about you just walked into planet Earth.
Welcome to
that.
football, he
You don't
said.
see
You've
that.
just walked into planet Earth. Welcome culture. You look to build a culture.
You just got here. You just walked into planet Earth. What are you talking about?
guy who is going to
These
always
debates be
be
killing
there.
me, bro.
Dude, welcome to football.
If
You
you
gotta win
see,
games. You don't
welcome
see
to
that.
football, he
You don't
said.
see
You've
that.
just walked into planet Earth. Welcome to football.
You don't see
wanna
that with
talk
the New York
about a guy?
Jets. The actual goal is to win games, not establish a culture,
That's
my guy.
really great. It's a dig of an argument, but it's not a real argument. I'm going to tell you
Sounds stupid.
When you want
he's cooking. He's cooking you right now. You sound very stupid. You know what I'm saying? Honestly. You know what I mean? Talking about building culture. Mother effer, we trying to win games. I don't know what you talking about. Building cultures. I don't know what the freak you talking about, man. We trying to win dang games. You think when we got Jackson Dart, oh yeah, man, we just getting Jackson Dart just for a culture, man. For the culture. Forget the winning games. We're trying to, the culture. F the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? We trying to win some dang games, man. We don't give a dang about this dang culture. Winning brings culture. You know what I'm saying? What the freak is culture when you're losing? You ain't got no culture. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand what you're saying. Look, Fernando Mendoza is not a generational quarterback. And I said that before, and I'm going to say it again. Word to the wise.
Start a franchise. You know you are not going to win games right away. That's just reality. That's plug and play superstar stuff. But if you're starting a franchise, you want to build around a guy who's going to be there for a decade, for years and years to come. And there is nobody better to start it with somebody who is young, somebody who has shown the maturity to show up and turn a franchise around like Fernando Mendoza has in Indiana. When was the last time Indiana football was ever relevant? I will also say this.
The year before Mendoza got there.
As a defense, sure, but not as an offense. I will also say
they were the number 5 team in the AP poll, something like that.
They were a really good team, and Fernando Mendoza went and won the Heisman and won a national championship. Joe Burrow, as good as he is, as talented as he is, you don't start a franchise around a guy where you said availability is the vestibility.
I want to make this quick. I know it's going to upset my friend in the back a bit that's a Chiefs fan. I just want to hear why you think that now an older Patrick Mahomes, who in this situation...
I'm tired of little kids. I'm going to keep it real with you. Like, you look like 15, barely hit puberty. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting tired of little kids. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like, please don't talk about Pat Mahomes. I'm going to keep it real with you because it can get ugly. You know what I'm saying? They get ugly. You know what I'm saying? Don't talk about bro. You feel me? Straight up. Put some respect on bro name. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, he's still the best quarterback in the league right the freak now. You know what I mean? Honestly, I do feel like the Chiefs' reign is done. Chiefs fans, don't get in my head for this. If you do, then I don't want to do war, but anybody gets to war. You know what I'm saying? But all I'm saying is I do feel like your dynasty is over, man. I don't know. I don't see y'all having old Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has not been the same since he got with "We Will Never, Ever, Ever Getting Back Together." He hasn't been the same ever since he been with Taylor Swift. I don't know what Taylor Swift did to that boy, but he wasn't like that with the sister. You know what I'm saying? But right when he got with Taylor Swift, I don't know what the heck happened to bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, he done. He cooked. You know what I'm saying? So you have Travis Kelce. You don't have a wide receiver no one. You can say Rice all you want to. Rice is not an all-pro. Rice is a Jamar Chase, a Puka Nacua. You know what I'm saying? For Christ's sake, Rice not even a freaking Devontae Adams. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, or Malik Neighbors, he's Justin Jefferson. He's not that type of caliber. You know what I'm saying? CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, he's just not. You know what I mean? You need a valuable wide receiver, number one. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you got L'Jarius Sneed back, but he's not a top cornerback like he used to be. And then you got, Delane from LSU. I don't see it. I don't see y'all make. I see y'all making the playoffs for surely, but I just don't see y'all like winning another ring in a long time.
Where he'd be starting a new franchise in the absence of
Kenneth Walker,
and the offense has been around him, and now injury this season, why he is still going to be the best person out of those other three to go in and start anew.
I didn't quite say that. I said he's been better than Joe Burrow.
But would you rather have a younger player there?
But Burrow is not that much younger than Mahomes. Excuse me. Burrow kind of came into the league and was actually an older quarterback. I think actually older than Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. He's about the same age. Maybe Mahomes is a little older. I don't know their birthdays by heart, unfortunately. But either way, the age is pretty similar. So you just said you don't want to take a quarterback at that age with injuries. So why would you take Joe Burrow? I'll pick the guy at that age with less injuries and 3 more Super Bowl rings to show for it.
Well, just in my opinion, I think that Joe Burrow has more...
Why do you talk like that? I always wanted to understand, like, are you trying to make yourself talk like that? You know what I'm saying? Because you, like, why do you talk like that? You feel me? Like, you talk like one of the Fortnite kids. You know what I mean? Building over there. You know what I mean? Y'all know how them Fortnite kids you talk back in the day? That junk used to piss me the freak off. Rivet, 25 down. No shield. You know what I mean? They have no shield. Push. Hit him again. Oh my God, I cannot stand for it. So it's like, do you talk like that? You know what I mean? When you're not on camera? You know what I mean? Or like, do you talk like that? Are you making your voice like that?
in some cases, and especially earlier in his career, he had some more raw skill when he wasn't injured than Patrick Mahomes has right now, just because Patrick Mahomes has a cast around him.
So if you were starting a franchise today, you would want the guy that has played about 65% of the games available for the past 3 years.
Oh, and
who hasn't made the playoffs.
No, I completely agree with you that the injury is just a whole thing here, but I want to get your opinion on why Patrick Mahomes stands at the higher level, and I agree with you on that.
Well, Patrick Mahomes stands at a higher level because, well, you mentioned that he's had his system catered to. You took off his wide receiver one. He made 3 consecutive Super Bowls and won 2. We're not talking about Mahomes versus Joe Burrow. We're talking about if he keeps that up and does that again, Mahomes entering Joe Montana, Tom Brady talks, not Joe Burrow talks. Get to the playoffs, and then I'll talk.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, you did your thing right now with little kid. I get to you know what I'm saying? Like, you did your thing right now.
The claim is Michael Jordan is the undisputed GOAT, and it's not even close.
Okay. Some things you say I agree with, and some things you don't. So it's mano y mano.
All right, so
I got Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, here's my issue. My issue is, and I'm a boxing fan, so when I hear undisputed, undisputed means it's not even debatable.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. I think that as
you talking about, oh man. Ugh, you said undisputed. Michael Jordan being the undisputed GOAT. All sports. All sports? You know what I'm saying? I mean, shoot. I mean, think about it. Who did it like Mike, though? I think he actually right with it. Who did it like Mike? I wanna be like Mike. Who did it like Mike? I mean, Michael's shoes is out of this world. I mean, not only his shoes is out of this world and still selling out to this day, but I mean, he is own brand, for Christ's sake. Name somebody else. See, all these other superstars and all that, they got to sign under Nike and Adidas and all that. This man has his own brand. His own brand. Like his own. Jordan is a brand like Nike, Adidas, Reeboks. He is like the undisputed God. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, you gotta understand, man, this man brand is on soccer teams. This man brand, you got other NBA teams wearing this brand. You got other soccer teams. This man brand is known around the world. You can't name nobody else that, like, even speaking on basketball, 6-time, NBA champion, multiple time MVP, shoot. It's just, even with the basketball or even outside of basketball, bro, I just don't see nobody that did it like Mike. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I wanna be like Mike.
For example, I have to ask you this. What's your definition of the GOAT? Like, why do you think Michael Jordan is the undisputed GOAT? Not just the GOAT.
In my opinion, he is.
Well, if you look at my criteria, which was dominance, success as a number one, and impact on the game, Michael Jordan, I think he dominated the game more than anyone has before. He came in and averaged 28 a game. He, had the 95 season where he wasn't eligible for awards because he came in late. The 86 season where he wasn't eligible for awards or stats because of injuries.
Okay, yeah, put that into perspective too.
So in the 11 seasons where he could qualify for statistics, he led the NBA in scoring 10 times. The only year he didn't was as a rookie, where again he averaged 28 a game. That type of dominance is unprecedented. You go and turn that into playoff success.
And then he retired multiple times. That's what I be trying to tell LeBron James fans. I'm like, you got to put all that into perspective too. Or why he not, up there as a leading scorer, or why he don't have more championships, or why he don't have more NBAs. I'm like, bro, you got to understand. You got to put this like to perspective when we talk about GOAT talk. The man retired multiple times, just like he said, multiple seasons that he was not eligible for awards. We got to put that into perspective, man. This man right here, man, this number 23 right here, he has been playing 23 seasons straight. He played 23 seasons straight. You know what I'm saying? Mike retired, multiple times, gang.
Turn that into also being one of the best defensive players in the world, the best defensive guard, I would argue, up there, or the greatest defensive guard in the history of the NBA, being able to do it while walking over really great teams. Everyone always says, LeBron ran in and lost to the Warriors. Jordan beat 760-win teams.
I stay saying that, bro. They love saying that, oh my God, but Bron played against more cup than Jordan. Bro, you just heard what he said, right? You got to understand, people think that the competition is harder. I feel like I said, I do feel like my era is better than any era. But, bro, we got to understand, they had some ballers back then. The Charles Barkleys, Karl Malones, the John Stocktons, the Clyde Drexlers, the Gary Payton. Whatever you want to say, bro, he played against some Hall of Famers for sure. He played against Hall of Famers. But a lot of people think that LeBron James had harder competition, because a lot of people became GOATs on LeBron James' watch. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have Kawhi Leonard that won rings on LeBron James' watch. Steph Curry, who won rings on LeBron James' watch. Kevin Durant, Tim Duncan's. So many people won rings and became GOATs while LeBron James was in the league. But nobody did when Michael Jordan was in the league. So that's why they think that Michael Jordan was playing against plumbers, as they say, you know what I'm saying? Played against freaking Magic, you know what I'm saying? Magic was second in the MVP voting. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro played against Hall of Famers. Bro played against Karl Malone, who I think was the second MVP in the MVP race. Like, bro, he was just that dominant, gang. You feel me? He was just that dominant that nobody was winning when Mike was just there. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Mike made everybody look average, but in reality, they wasn't average, bro. They actually was decent teams, but nobody just won on Michael Jordan's watch like they did on LeBron James' watch, bro.
Always says, LeBron ran in and lost to the Warriors. Jordan beat 760 win teams during his playoff career in series. LeBron's only beat 3 in his career, and that's in 10 more years to do it come postseason time. And so I would argue that alone, that dominance and individual success, and then I'll make this one last point for you. Impact. Nobody has impacted the game, in my opinion, more than Michael Jordan. Because again, in the NBA, the 70s, it was a dead era in the NBA. Magic and Bird helped save the NBA and make it relevant again. But Michael Jordan made the NBA the phenomenon that it is today. He made it where players can have their own shoe line. Everyone's talking about, they wear Kobe's and they wear this shoes and that shoe. Michael Jordan started that real big philosophy, I believe, for the modern day in the NBA. You're still going and wearing Jordans. You're still going.
I just said that.
Right, and not only that, I think the popularity of the NBA has never been higher because Michael Jordan was that astonishing and that powerful an individual that he captivated an entire fan base more than LeBron James ever could and ever has.
See, my issue is not that Michael Jordan is the GOAT. It's the fact that you said he's the undisputed GOAT, because it all comes down to eras at the end of the day. I know you brought up Jordan's competition and the teams that he played, but if we're gonna be realistic, the Golden State Warriors had the 2 arguably best shooters of all time. I mean, obviously Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time, but you could also argue that Klay Thompson is top
Kevin
5,
Durant,
you know, and as well as Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So it's like, if we're gonna talk about competition of who they play, now I agree with outside of the game, yes, Jordan had that impact, but in the game, it's like, how can you really compare Jordan's competition to LeBron's and say that Jordan's competition was great and better?
I mean, just look, LeBron. That Golden State Warriors team but Jordan's team was just so dominant that Jordan was the team. Like, for me, I think that Michael Jordan beats that Golden State Warriors team. I honestly do that. Like, Michael Jordan with Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, and I really feel that way. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, like, Klay Thompson not doing nothing on freaking Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we got somebody to guard Steph Curry. I mean, Michael Jordan, bro. You know what I'm saying? He guarding that Dennis Rodman. You feel me? Like, I just feel like he on Kevin Durant, you know what I'm saying? Honestly, so it's just, I feel like the Michael Jordan team will beat that what's the name, you know what I'm saying? That's just in my opinion, because Michael Jordan, I just don't see nobody stopping Michael Jordan. I do not care. I don't see nobody stopping Michael Jordan, bro. You know what I mean? But yeah, man. Bron lost against the Dallas Mavericks. You know what I mean? San Antonio Spurs. You know what I'm saying? Lost against a lot of teams, man.
You know what I mean? Because at the end of the, and if we're going to talk about if we're also going to talk about dominance, bro, LeBron's been dominating before you even born, and still in the league today. So it's like that.
Nobody said he hasn't been dominating, bro.
I feel like you're taking that and.
But you really can't be saying, he's dominant. You know what I'm saying? He's dominant for sure. But I mean, my man's 4-6 in the finals. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's 4-6 in the finals.
Well, number one, I'm not denying the longevity, but I do think when you accomplish more in less time, that actually makes it even better. That's also what makes it undisputed. And I will say this, though, about the Golden State Warriors and the competition he faced. I'm asking you a question that I'll follow up on that. Do you believe is part of your argument the fact that LeBron James made...
You look like you got a burp, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just get it out. You know, get it out because I know one of them burps. You know, just get it out, bro. You look like you dying on the inside right now.
I'll follow up on that. Do you believe is part of your argument the fact that LeBron James has made 10 finals? Is that part of the argument?
No, it's not necessarily. It's just the level of competition that LeBron had to play against was way higher than Jordan's.
I would argue overall that's actually not true.
I believe it's true because you have to look at it like this, right? If you have you're going against the greatest shooter of all time for.
Man, one thing I used to say that, bro. I could say in the finals. But I used to say that too, until I had to start understanding that this man was in the weak Eastern Conference for half his career. You know what I'm saying? Jordan was in the hardest conference, while LeBron was in the weakest. The East was so weak that we knew that LeBron James was making it out of the finals. So you could say that he played better competition in the finals. Other than the Golden State Warriors, I feel like it was probably evenly matched. But you can say he played more competent finals. But to get to the finals, Bron ain't played better competition than Jordan. That's just to me. Jordan had a way harder path to get to the final than LeBron James did. The East was just weak. It was terrible. It was getting to a point they called Toronto LeBronto. That's how they knew it. The best competition that he had in the East was the Raptors.
4 years. With the defensive player of the year, who I believe it was Draymond Green that won one of those years, right?
I think he won one of those years, yeah.
Yeah, he won at least one of those years.
17,
and you also have Klay Thompson, who is another one of the greatest shooters of all time. Those are two different aspects of basketball, offense and defense. If you have to go against that for 4 years, in addition to Kevin Durant, then how are we going to not talk about that?
Okay, but at the same time, though, a lot of the LeBron argument is that, oh, yeah, he was great, and then he just ran into the Warriors. I would argue he never ran into a Warriors equivalent Michael Jordan, but I would argue en route to the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan faced much...
I just said that. I just said that. You know what I'm saying? But they're going to say I'm hating. It's the truth, man. It's the truth, bro. I'm going to say the truth. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to speak the truth. That's it. Never going to say LeBron James is not one of the GOATs. Never not going to say that. Never going to deny that he's not a top 10 player of all time. I ain't never going to say that. But you gotta put into perspective how easy the Eastern Conference was to get. So you love bringing up the 10 NBA Finals. The man was in the easiest conference. Come on now. You seen when he came to the West. He wasn't going to 10 NBA Finals. And then y'all excuse is, oh my God, he was up there in age. I promise you, Bron would have went to at least 4 more NBA Finals if he was in the East. I promise you. Because it was just that weaker than the West. The difference is that he came to the West. He started getting his head beat in. The West has always been his kryptonite. Why do you think his record is 4-6 against Western Conference teams? The West has always been his kryptonite. I called it before he even went to Philadelphia. I said he's going back to the East. I said it. The only reason in my heart, I genuinely feel the only reason, because it makes no sense for LeBron to sign with a minimum contract for $8 million and then try to get a max contract from us. And then you got the nerve to say you want to play for a championship team when you've been the one that's holding us back. You know what I'm saying? All you had to do was sign for an $8 million deal with us. You know what I'm saying? We could have got more pieces to build around you and Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. But you chose to go to the East. In my heart, how I feel is just my opinion. You didn't want no more smoke in the West, so you try to go to the East and take the easiest route to get to the finals. That's just me personally. You didn't want to stay in the West, bro, because it makes no sense for you. It makes no sense for you to sign for a minimum deal for $8 million and then ask us for a max contract. You didn't want to play with us. You didn't want to play in the West, period. Not with us. You didn't want to stay in the West, period. I said it. I said it before, and I say he's going to go back to the East. I say he's going to go back to the Eastern Conference. Because that's the easiest route to the finals than the West.
Jordan, I would argue, en route to the NBA Finals, Michael Jordan faced much tougher competition in the Eastern Conference. Who was so in those 4 years he made the
You're going to say exactly what I just said.
NBA Finals to face the Golden State Warriors. I'll tell you some of the teams. The Paul George turned Victor Oladipo-led Indiana Pacers. They called it LeBronto because it was a DeMar DeRozan, Kyle
Yo, he's saying the same thing I'm saying. Yo, it's crazy that I get looked at like I'm hating when I'm telling the truth, man. I'm just telling the truth about your boy, man. That's all I do. But they look at me like they call me delusional when I'm saying stuff that's real. Do you know what delusion is? Delusional is believing something that's not real. I am literally saying something that happened, and that's reality. You're delusional for calling me delusional. I can't tell you how many times I get called delusional in a Twitch chat. You know what I'm saying? Get called delusional by delusional people. I am not delusional by speaking a factual thing.
Led Indiana Pacers. They called it LeBronto because it was a DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry rivalry. What are we talking about?
Do you think Jordan's Bulls would have beat that Warriors team?
I don't know. All I know is they're in the running for the 2 greatest teams of all time.
So we have the 2 best shooters of all time and arguably one of the greatest defenders of all time. And LeBron goes against that for 4 years.
I got that 72 Bulls team, one of the greatest, 2 of the greatest defensive players of all time, the greatest offensive player of all time, and the greatest rebounder of all time.
But we're talking about the 2 best shooters. Shooting is one of the biggest aspects of basketball, if we're going to be honest with you. You have to go against that for defense. 4 years. 73, he beat that team. Right. And then you have Kevin Durant on top of that. What are we talking about as far as competition? But I agree with the whole GOAT thing. I just don't think it's undisputed.
It's too much agreeing with you going on. Like everybody trying to be your friend. We're not up here to do that.
All right, let's do it. Let's get heated.
Okay, Michael Jordan is great. He's an all-timer. All of that is great. He done things that were unprecedented.
Yep.
You named all of the stats. You laid out the whole resume. Boom, we got it.
What I can just tell you're a freaking bandwagon. You know what I mean? By the jersey you got on. What, everybody a Rams fan now? I can just tell you a bandwagon. Motherfucker already got a Myles Garrett's jersey. We already know what type of person this is. Bro couldn't wait. That's how you spot out a bandwagon from a mile away. Like I said, Philadelphia fans, you want to spot out LeBron James fans, you going to see that motherfucker wearing a LeBron James jersey. You know what I'm saying? You want to spot a bandwagon out when a superstar get traded to a new team. If that motherfucker wearing their new jersey, if that motherfucker wearing the jersey, he a bandwagon fan. That motherfucker he wasn't no Rams fan. I can promise y'all this right now. He was not no Rams fan before Myles Garrett got there. I can say that right now. You know what I'm saying? Real Rams fans ain't wearing Myles Garrett. They wearing ADs. They still wearing Matthew Staffords. They wearing Puka Nacua. They ain't finna just go off the rip and just wear Myles Garrett's. You know what I'm saying? I mean, until it started playing, until he officially like become a Ram for real. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker got his jersey already. He ain't Ram yet. He a Ram, but motherfucker ain't played for a game yet.
LeBron James, 10x is all of that for me. Like, so when we think about greatness, right? Let's just talk about greatness.
Yep.
And
Here we go. Longevity and stats. I'm gonna tell you that's the only thing they can argue about when it comes to LeBron James. That's it. He can't bring up MVPs. Jordan got more. He can't bring up more championships. Jordan got more. He can't bring up the finals record. Jordan. All he gonna do is bring up longevity and stats. That's the only thing he gonna bring up. He loves trying to bring up longevity and stats. Like Jordan ain't played 10 more years than Jordan. He love trying to bring. That's the only thing they can argue about Jordan. Longevity and stats. That's it. What?
that or feats that haven't been achieved prior, right? 3-1 comeback in the NBA Finals. We don't even have to really talk about the running into Stephen Curry. Like, albeit the talent that he played is undoubtedly way better than Michael Jordan played. Like, John Stockton.
I just don't understand. John Stockton what?
Can't even speak in the same sentence, be spoken about in the same sentence as a Steph Curry, as a Damian Lillard. These are guys.
Damian Lillard. Bro, you know, bro, John Stockton, bro. Stop playing with John Stockton. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Stop playing. And like I said it before and I say it again. Steph Curry is not a point guard. I said it before and I said it again. Steph Curry is a shooting guard, bro. Steph Curry is not a better point guard. He's a better player than John Stockton, but he's not a better point guard than John Stockton. You know what I'm saying? But the casuals don't understand it. Steph Curry is not a better point guard than John Stockton. There's plenty of point guards better than Steph Curry. You're a better player. A better point guard. You're not a better point guard than Rajon Rondo. Better point guard. Plays that point guard position better. Steph Curry's just a shooter, bro. 98% of his game is shooting. He's not a better passer than Rondo. He's not a better rebounder. He's not a better defender. All he is a better shooter. That's all he is. A better shooter and a better dribbler. That's it. That's not a point guard. That's a shooting guard. You know what I mean? Steph Curry don't make other people better. Think about it, bro. Who he make better? Jordan Poole was already that guy. Draymond Green, I mean, he was already a defender. KD was already KD. Klay Thompson was just Klay Thompson. Who he make better? Don't make nobody else better. That motherfucker make himself better.
Didn't
John
even
Stockton
play in the
is
finals.
Much better all time than Damian Lillard.
John Stockton is Tyler Kolek. That's besides my point. That is besides.
Bro said John Stockton is Tyler Kolek. Bro, stop playing with John Stockton. But you stupid. This
Damian Lillard.
John Stockton is Tyler Kolek. That's besides my point. That is besides the point.
Tyler
That's
Kolek
besides
plus
the point.
the most assists and steals in the history of the NBA.
Because whoever was right in the books was just penciling him in for assists. That's besides the point.
What?
That's besides the point.
Why are we doing
But
this?
when it comes to LeBron, his stats accurate. You see how LeBron James fans talk? It was just penciling man for a shit. You see, this is LeBron James fans right here, chat. This is LeBron James fans. These are the dudes that follow LeBron. This right here. LeBron, our problem's not with you. It's problem with these mutts right here.
LeBron James.
These are LeBron James fans.
NFL playing for a coach that they called
The Triangle.
Eric Spoelstra doesn't have a nickname. He didn't get to play with.
Coaching nicknames is now the separator for the greatest of all
No,
time.
I'm saying that
gentlemen.
speaks to his intelligence on the basketball court. That speaks to his IQ. That speaks to what he was able to
LeBron
establish.
James fans, ladies and gentlemen.
Something that he was able to replicate with another GOAT, Kobe Bryant. But this is my point. LeBron James has done way more with way less. When we talk about 2007,
Way more than way less.
bringing that terrible Cavs team to the finals, albeit he did get swept by the Spurs. He ran
Okay,
to
so
a way
shut up
better
about
team.
that. Shut up.
But to be able to take that, if you watch that 2007 series, all of those rounds in the Eastern Conference, we talk about 20 straight points playing against the Pistons. Like,
Seen it.
all of that stuff is very impressive. Let's go to 2016 when you do something that nobody else has ever done. When you beat all these
Incredible.
great Titans, coming back 3-1, you get the block.
He beat
They
one
had
great
to
Titan,
give
but okay.
somebody
Yep.
a Finals MVP because they beat him. That never happened with Michael Jordan. So I'm just saying that there are a
You're right,
lot of
nobody ever
factors.
beat Michael Jordan in the finals, correct?
True. But LeBron
You're
James
right.
is now in year, what is it, 22, 21, whatever,
23,
23.
yeah.
Longevity now.
Okay, add another one. He's the all-time leader in points.
Told
He's all-time leader in field goals made.
Told
He's still carrying the Lakers
But
right now.
that's a byproduct of
Still
longevity.
carrying the Lakers, right? He's still carrying us. You see what I'm saying? I had enough of listening to this mother. Y'all see what I be saying about these LeBron James fans? He's still carrying the Lakers. What a third option talking about he's still carrying us. Ugh. This is exactly what I be talking about when it comes to LeBron James fans right here, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all see what I be saying? That motherfucker, fool. He's still carrying us right now. You know what I'm saying? Philadelphia, good luck, brother. Even with Jaylen Brown, even with Tyrese Maxey, even with Joel Embiid, they gonna make it sound like it's LeBron James. He's carrying y'all. The boy, the third option, boy averaged like how many points? 21 points. Boy, Luka averaged 32 points. Austin Reeves averaged more points than this man. This is the problem that I have with LeBron James fans, bro. Try to make it seem like he just, oh my God. I just can't listen to him no more. It's your boy Jay. Take it easy for you, like, I'm out, man. I can't listen to this mother.